On YouTube you can watch videos of people comparing the Mercedes E-Class with the BMW 5 Series, for example. We're not going to do that. We're going to compare the Mercedes E-Class to the Mercedes E-Class. All right, this isn't really the E-Class, but its predecessor, the W123. I just like the E-Class name. We have the chance to compare the development of technology and shapes from 1976 to 2017. Squarish shapes have made way for the laws of aerodynamics. But a lot of things were very much simpler in the before times. So what happens today when you have to take your car and take your bicycles or skis with you? Well, first you have to open these, you have to buy special equipment to mount on these or have a mechanic do it for you, and it's usually a fairly permanent solution. People just leave them on. Well, in the old days it was a little bit simpler. You took these out, you screwed them onto the top, you put your bicycles on, and when you came to your destination, you simply unscrewed them and put them back in the trunk. Okay, so let's say that you'd rather take your bicycle in the boot with you, or you have something rather large you want to put in there, but you can't really close the trunk. Well, they had a rather simple solution with this. Now what you did is put this on the top like this, you locked it in place, and that's it. The boot doesn't move, it doesn't produce any noise because there's lovely cushioning here, and that's it. If you had something larger, you could also adjust the height of the boot. How clever is that? You can see the 40 years of differences at the back as well. I have to say though, the W123 still looks great, even today. Large tail lights and a big badge on the old model, which put more on elegance than aggressiveness. There are no rear view cameras here either. Or the intricate details in the brake lights. Decades ago, it wasn't so important for the car surface to be uniform. More importance, for example, was put on having drainage channels, which made sure droplets or snow didn't get into the car with its doors open. Now that you're watching these videos of the old and the new E-Class, have you been wondering why the classic E-Class trunk opens so close to the actual hole? Well, there's a very simple reason. When you're putting something into the back of the boot, your head will be right here, so it won't actually be touching the door. But when you take it to the new E-Class, of which the boot is quite long, and if you want to put something right into the back, your head will be here. So basically, you'd be hitting the door if they opened to over here. Quite clever, isn't it? Yes, it's not all just a design quirk, but a lot of choices of actual solutions behind them. The new E-Class has a lot of boot space, especially lengthwise, while the W has more width. Today when you're buying a new car, you can get a 2-zone climate control, sometimes even 3-zone climate control for the people in the back, and then you've got the 4-zone climate control for the really luxurious cars and so on. And we're thinking to ourselves, wow, what new and exciting technology. But actually, it existed back then already. Look at this, it's all mechanical, but very simple and works. For example, the driver has his heat controls over here, and he's got his temperature that he's set up coming over here from this vent, while the passenger has his own controls over here on the right and his own air over there, while these two always bring you fresh air from the outside. Of course, let's not forget about climate control, so you've got air conditioning. So, the next time you're driving in your new car and both you and your wife are setting different temperatures for yourselves while smirking at a classic Mercedes in front of you, remember, it's not going to be bested so easily. Here's another interesting tidbit. The classic Mercedes instruments have found their way onto the new E-Class screen, which can also display other styles. Sitting into the W123 was another surprise, as you simply aren't used to car seats with such softness and bounciness. I felt like I sat down on my grandmother's comfortable sofa. On the other hand, the old seats won't really offer you much side support, which is much more important in the modern, more aggressive and sporty models. A 3-liter 5-cylinder diesel engine hides under the bonnet, which develops 59 kilowatts or 80 horsepower. Today, that's positively pathetic, especially the 20 seconds it needs to get to 100 kilometers per hour. But driving in the old model, I really didn't think it was slow or lumbering. Again, this was an elegant cruiser, not a racer. The classic car was not only very nicely restored, but also visited many countries in the world. For those of you who are fans of the Bergdoktor or Mountain Medic series, you can start feeling jealous, as the man himself rode in this very W123 you saw here.